Hey everybody, got to get these lights and everything. I'm still in the early stages of, getting this thing under control and when I have all the better equipment out, but who cares about that? Welcome. This is Plan Your Greatness and I am your gracious host, Carlton Hamilton, and let's get started today. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We are taking a break again from the book. We'll be back on the next video or maybe the next video after that. But we are continuing the series that I started. We are on part 3 of the Is the American Dream Dead? And I just keep having reminders throughout the day, throughout the week, on how people are talking about it, different perspectives that they're having. I have a different perspective on it. And so I wanted to come share it with you because I believe I have a very positive take on it. Because I'm seeing too many people online complaining about, oh, the American dream is dead, there's no opportunities, and I just have some basic questions that I want to ask. So I'm going to get started on that today, and let's get to it. All right, we are back. This is part 3 of Is the American Dream Dead? Now, first and foremost, I have a very positive outlook. There are some things that we need to change in America, no doubt about it. But when you look at what people are saying as far as their belief in the American dream is dead, I always go literally right to the data. I first and foremost want to know, what is your education level? And again, people are going to say, oh, well, I got this degree and that degree. And I said, unless you have a high in-demand degree, then you're probably not in demand by the marketplace. People who have degrees like engineering degrees, and then within the engineering degrees, you've got civil, industrial, mechanical, you've got chemical, you've got electrical. All those are in demand because America is a capitalist country and it's always building, trying to make things better. So they're always looking for bigger, brighter, better, smarter. And in those fields, there's always people that are retiring. So they're always looking to bring in new, fresh, young blood. They're doing interns. And that's another thing that I'll get at a little bit later on. I'll talk about that probably in another video as far as when people get into college, if they're not in those high demand areas, it is 100% imperative that you do an intern, because that way you're going to be able to find out what's available out there, and you're going to be able to put yourself in direct connection to a field that you're trying to get into and letting them know that you're available. Other than that, you're competing with way too many people. But with that in mind, I believe there is a formula. I believe there is a formula on how to be successful in the marketplace. There's certain things that you have got to do. I went over that in the other video, so I'm not going to go over that here, but there is a formula for you to be successful. I believe there is a general success formula. I'm going to go over that in another video. But I want to use this as an example. One of my favorite movies is The Pursuit of Happiness. Now, if you've seen the movie, great movie. But if you've done any research a little bit deeper, you'll find out the actual guy that he played, his story, Chris Gardner. Now, this is why I use this as the story. It is a great story, but it has 2 parts. Okay? It has him struggling to where he's just trying to get by and keep with his child, and then he gets the internship. And then that's when the movie ends. The movie doesn't tell you what happened afterwards. You're all cheering and everything because he got the internship. But what if he wasn't as good and he didn't do as good? I think it was Dean Witter. What if he wasn't that good at Dean Witter and then he just falls out and goes right back to doing what he's doing? So that's why I said there's 2 parts, okay? The first part is he worked so hard to overcome all his obstacles to get that internship. Then, if you do some more research on him, you'll find out he did so well with that company, made so much money, he was able to start his own firm. Probably based on the good relationships he had with all those clients, he was able to start his own firm and build from there. And I believe in the process of him going back and writing the book, he sold that company for $60-70 million. So that's the success part. That's the success, is that he took the opportunity and got the internship, but then he did everything that was necessary to get the skills that he needed, went on his own, started his own firm, and probably some bigger firms said, hey, we'll scoop that up. He walked away with $70 million. He doesn't have to work another day the rest of his life. He don't need to make any more phone calls. I believe he's on the speaking circuit. He's probably doing some consulting. He's probably making as much money doing all this work. Plus, he's got $70 million diversified and probably a bunch of different portfolios and all that other stuff. And so he's making money hand over fist. All right? So again, he worked hard to get the opportunity to work at Dean Witter. Maximized that opportunity so that he could start his own company, and then sold the company and wrote about it. I don't know exactly what order it was in. He may have wrote the book, then he sold the company, or he sold the company, then wrote the book. Whatever he did, he was able to go back and sit back or at some point in time and tell his story. So he's written that book and to tell his story. But what I'm connecting is, I said there's two parts, and that's a lifelong journey. His journey from getting through everything to getting the opportunity, that was part one. Part two was him maximizing the opportunity, becoming good at Dean Witter, creating his own company, and then selling his own company. That's the part two of it. That was a lifelong pursuit of happiness. Now, the reason why I really like that is because me sitting here, okay, if you've been following my channel, you know I played professional baseball. So I got that opportunity. I won the lottery. Then I got to play for a decade until I got injured and got my career cut short, but I had that level of success. Then everything spiraled out of control. Then the next chapter of my life started, which is where I went to prison, but I made sure that I used that opportunity while I was locked up in prison to reinvent myself. I come out, I go to college, I get a college degree. Now, college isn't for everybody. And I was having this conversation earlier, and that's what I've told with my kids. I said, college isn't for everybody. But the most important thing that happened to me getting that college degree was what I became in that journey becoming a college graduate. I became a phenomenal dude, which allowed me to start the businesses, allowed me to take opportunities where I invested. I have some other stuff that's coming down the pipe. All those things were not because I got the degree. It was what I was doing in pursuit of that degree that I was able to carry that over into everything that I'm doing right now. So the 4 years that I was incarcerated, that was a setback. But it also was a setup, because there's a book out that says a setback is a setup for a comeback. I love that title by Willie Jolly. Go find that book. Great book. I'll probably have a picture up on here for it. But it was a setback, but it was a setup because I used that time to become something that I didn't know what I was going to be. And now the comeback is, it's been 25 years since I left prison. And in those 25 years, my daughter and I were talking today. She was like, Dad, you have done some phenomenal things after prison. I love talking to my little girl. She's my biggest fan, my biggest cheerleader, and so I try to be there for her. But she just reminded me, and it was today, she said, man, you have done phenomenal. She said, you have done so much. Very similar to that scene in the movie The Natural, where Glenn Close is saying, look at what you're doing now. Don't worry about the opportunities that you missed and that you thought you were going to be the greatest hitter and player of all time. You would have broken all the records. She's like, look at the impact that you're having on people right now. So my daughter was reminding me, she was like, Dad, look at what you're doing now. Look at the impact you're having on me. This is what she's telling me. Look at the impact that you're having on me by the things that you have done. Business owner, college grad, author, content creator, It's endless, and there's still so many more things that I'm going to do. So I'm using this platform here to tell people, if you are complaining about the American dream, it's because you're not looking at the marketplace and making yourself valuable to the marketplace. The marketplace isn't just going to come find you and pick you out if you don't have any skills. You have to get the skills, and then you have to literally, like they say, climb up in a tree and scream with a bullhorn and say, hey, this is what I got. This is what the skills that I have. Who wants them? Who needs them? I could do this, that, and the other. Like when people come into the store and they say, hey, how are you hiring? I go, you don't even have a resume. What are you doing? Now, okay, so really tell me what can you do to help out the store? Because I tell them, I said, if I were going to apply for a job, I would go in with a resume in hand. And I would say, hey, are you guys hiring? No, you're not. Okay, my name is so-and-so and so-and-so. I've worked in fast food places. I've worked in retail spaces. I'm a fast learner. If you need me to do extra stuff, cleaning, washing windows, I said, I'm here to do all that stuff. I'm going to be able to upsell. Once I learn all your products, I'm going to be able to upsell everything. I'm going to have a great attitude. I'm going to try to extract as much information out of the customers so that they can come back and feel good about being here. And whatever you need to do to make this a better business, I'm here for that. So here's my resume. And so if you are looking, or when you are looking to hire somebody, please think of me, because I'll be one of the best hires you've ever had. Now, I made that up just right off the top of my head, but I said something very similar like that. I had a script in my head when I got out of prison, because I knew it was something like this. I said, look, I have a felony. I said, so there is a difference between the people that you're hiring that don't have felonies and I have a felony. I said, you know what? Every time I go into an interview, I'm thinking, if they hire me, this may be my last opportunity, because they're not giving opportunities all the time to felons. I said, so you know what? I'm going to be the first one here. I'm going to be the last one to leave. I'm going to learn this job as best I can, and I'm going to be one of your best performers. You know why? Because I may not get another opportunity. So whatever metrics that you have measuring people, I'm going to crush those. Why? Because I don't know if I'm going to get another opportunity. So you're looking at somebody that is going to give the best you have. If you end up letting me go, it's because I just couldn't get it. But I believe I'm going to maximize my opportunity while I'm here. And if I have to go, I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to say, hey, this just didn't work out. But it's not going to be because of lack of effort. So think about that. When you hire me, you're going to get somebody that you know is giving your best effort and trying to make this company the best company it can be. I said something like that. I got hired every time. Okay, so again, I see people, and usually these videos, they're sitting in their car, and I'm thinking, oh, that person may be an Uber driver. And I've done. Well, our tax office has done taxes for Uber drivers, so I know. And I heard a lady talking about she's doing Grubhub and everything and making $120,000. I know it's doable, but that's a grinding schedule. That's literally working 12 hours a day for about 6 days a week for the entire year, to where you get to that number. But she's not telling you the raw numbers, which I may even put on the screen, that if you're talking about being an Uber driver, there's the fares you're going to get, but Uber is going to take a percentage of that. Then you're going to have to pay for gas, maintenance, car insurance, all the things that go into just the care of that car, tires, oil changes, all those things. They're going to start reducing what you're actually taking home. And literally, let's just do a round number. People that I've done taxes for, if they've made $100,000 on Uber, one, they're busting their ass and they don't have a lot of free time. Number two, about 30% of that is going to get eaten up in your fees and everything. So literally, you're working at about $70,000 a year. Now, that's a nice salary for somebody who's single. But if you're working 12 hours a day, and then say you're sleeping 6, 7, 8 hours a day. So you take that 12 hours that you're working, the 8 hours that you're sleeping, you only got 4 hours. Somewhere between 4 to 6 hours to do anything. And when is that? Is that 4 hours in the morning that you have back to back to back to back to back? Or is it 4 hours in the evening? It's a grinding schedule. So my suggestion is, with the American dream and the thought process, is really think about what the marketplace is in demand for. And that is something that if you can take your time out of your life in the trades, a couple of 2-3 years, and maybe even go to a bachelor's degree, focus on those, or find something that is really going to take you in that direction that you're trying to go into. But you don't want to be on here complaining that the American dream in America is dead if you've not acquired any skills, any education that the marketplace is in demand. I'm telling you, I'm seeing these people in these cars and they look like they just got out of a warehouse, or they just parked somewhere and they're tired, taking a break from Uber. And right there, they're telling me, and I've seen people go, well, I quit my 9 to 5. I wanted this freedom with Uber. I'm like, okay, you've made that trade-off, but how many hours are you working to equal that job, which if you maybe have gotten some better skills, you may have been able to dictate your schedule and your income. And when you do that, you get out of this mindset of complaining. Because if you're complaining, like I tell my kids, you're only stating the obvious. There's a problem and you need to resolve it. Getting online, turning on your camera, complaining is not solving any problems. So if you're looking at it from that perspective of saying, okay, what can I do? What do I like that's in demand in the marketplace? If you first start there, you are absolutely planning your greatness. All right? I'm going to leave you with what I leave you with every day when I'm on here, and that is plan your greatness. You know why? Because no one else will. I'll see you all next time.